They call this hipster rock. I don't hate it as much as I hate most things hipster. I'm Marky, but I actually kind of like it. Here we go. All right, Tri-City Sports Now. You got Billson here, Marky Billson, on 1420 WEMB Sports Radio. Wanted to also mention the Tom Brady extension. I'll get to that here, I think, in the next hour. Of course, we will be at the top of the hour talking to Jerry Bonkowski about Watkins Glen. Chase Elliott, dominant. Why? I mean, and also the feuds that are starting. I mean, that it's just. But here we go. But I really wanted to talk a little bit about the baseball on the weekend. And I think the big story in baseball over the weekend was the no-hitter thrown by Aaron Sanchez. Or was it? No, it was thrown by Aaron Sanchez, who made his first start for the Houston Astros after posting an earned run average of more than 6. I mean, this guy did not pitch well for the Toronto Blue Jays before being acquired by the Astros. I didn't even mention that Sanchez on this show had been picked up by the Astros because what was the big deal? I mean, this wasn't the main transaction that was going to get the Astros in the series. That wasn't who's this pitcher? Sanchez with a 6.07 ERA. But against Seattle, he goes 6 shutout, doesn't allow any hits. He's thrown 92 pitches, and then A.J. Hinch, manager of the Astros, actually takes him out of the game.
Well, I knew I was taking Sanchez out in a no-hitter, so I kind of had to address it after the 6th inning.
That's a nothing comment. I don't mean to sound old fuddy-duddy, and I don't also mean to say, boy, in the old days, if the boxers didn't go 75 rounds, we asked for a nickel back. But, come on. 92 pitches. It's not like, well, geez, guys, pinch hitter coming up, and it's a 0-0 game, and I got the bases loaded at 2 out, and I don't know if I'm going to score again. And that's why I took him out. And he understood. It's not like that. There's a DH for crying out loud. Baseball rape. And 92 pitches. That's enough for you today. Thank you. 3 other pitchers close it out. Aaron Sanchez, Chris Davinsky, Joe Biagini. Is that it? No, it's Joe Biagni. Am I getting that right? Biagini. Excuse me. Is that right? Anonymous pitchers. Middle relievers that make up a roster. Each threw a scoreless inning. And now it's a no-hitter. That's not the first time there's been a combined no-hitter like that. In fact, the first one I think was 1975. The Oakland A's were trying to get, they had won the division, and Glenn Abbott and 3 other pitchers had thrown a no-hitter, and what they were trying to do, who was the manager? I think it was Alvin Dark. He was trying to, shape his pitching staff up for the postseason. It was at the end of the year and all that, and so, okay, I can kind of see that. 92 pitches, and you're taking out of a no-hitter. No pinch hitter, nothing. Years ago, I called the play-by-play for the Johnson City Cardinals. In 97, a pitcher by the name of Steve Norris threw a combined no-hitter, 7-inning no-hitter, against the Kingsport Mets. They doubleheaders, 7-inning games. He combined with Lance Franks. Neither one of these pitchers made it to the majors. Franks is considered too short. He was a very effective relief pitcher. However, he was called up to A-ball that year. And Norris, a lot was expected from him. He went to Texas A&M, just didn't pan out. Norris was 1-6 going into his no-hitter. He lost 6 in a row. And he was taken out mid-7th inning with no-hitter being thrown. All he had to do was complete that, He had thrown 105 pitches. And I remember Steve Turco, the manager, telling me afterwards, the organization, we're here about development. The organization doesn't care about a no-hitter. They care about how many pitches he threw. And I've always felt that, and I understand, it's not like it's, well, your right arm is straight, you're throwing a no-hitter. Throw with your left hand. It's not like, no, I mean, no, I get it, okay? That's not, but to be taken out a no-hitter at 92, when your ERA is 6, it's a 9-0 game, too, Point being, I always thought it hurt Norris's psychology. He just went back on losing after that start. Why not? He wasn't asked to complete his no-hitter. He wasn't said, you be the bulldog. When you're tired, when the bases are loaded, on a hot day in St. Louis sometime, and you don't have your best stuff, if you can get out of this no-hitter, you'll know how to get him out in that situation. But he wasn't given that opportunity. He'd thrown 105 pitches. My goodness, he might throw 120. And my goodness, 92 pitches after 6, I guess that Sanchez, he might have, be asked to throw 130. Which, come to think of it, is what Sean Newcomb, he actually threw more than that last year when he went and took a no-hitter to 2 outs in the 9th. I just don't like pitchers being taken out with no-hitters. I do remember one time Charlie Huff being taken out when he had walked on opening day, I think it was 86, may have been 85, against Baltimore Orioles. He had walked 10 men or something in 9 innings, or in 6 innings. It was ridiculous. And the Orioles won a one-hitter. Bullpen didn't hold it. And I kind of understood it at that time, because Charlie Huff was so wild. There's something from the old days. But just, being taken out of a no-hitter, modern baseball, you can tell me it saves the arms, but I think that we don't have pitchers anymore. I think we have throwers. And I also think, look, you throw a no-hitter, at least for a day, you're a star. You get your name in a record book. You're remembered, at least for that one day. Hey, who would remember Steve Busby if he hadn't thrown 2 no-hitters, right? That's a while back. But the point is that at least for a little while, you're a star. I've often thought not so much arm preservation, but a little bit of ability that, we can prevent the star. We can prevent a big money player. We can prevent a $35 million a year Clayton Kershaw if we diminish the role of the starting pitcher and limit him to 6 innings even when they're throwing a no-hitter. Then we don't have to pay him as much. Think about it. Yeah. And I think it's also a product of the DH, where you don't have the natural removal of the pitcher for a pinch hitter. And I think we've made up these ideas. You can't go more than 100 pitches, when I could show you legends from the old days routinely going 150. Now there are some, ideas of, boy, did this guy throw his arm out, Here's a name from the past. Sam McDowell threw 300 innings when he was 27. Never was really the same again. Was that the problem, or was it his, battle with drink? Who knows? I mean, I'm not suggesting that, well, you're throwing a shutout for 10 innings, go out there for the 11th. No problem. I'm not necessarily sure. I do understand that. But just so disappointing. So disappointing that this is where baseball is going. And it is becoming, it seems like, home run derby. And Nelson Cruz had 3 home run games for the first place Minnesota Twins. And we've got some highlights of that, I believe. Can we get to them here before our break? I'm going to throw at least one of them to you. Here is Nelson Cruz talking about his recent home run splurge.
Well, just take one bag at a time, make sure I get the right pitch, and you trust the hands and have a good plan anytime you go there.
So Nelson Cruz, a couple of 3 home run games. I mean, we shouldn't be poo-pooing it, but the home run has become so commonplace that it's sort of, let me know when somebody hits 5 and breaks the record. I mean, that's the way it is now. And I don't think that baseball is stronger for it. What I'll tell you who was strong yesterday was Chase Elliott, and I'm going to talk to Jerry Bunkowski about that coming up after this.
1420 WEM.